What if I told you she didn't break you, she freed you? That the moment she walked out wasn't your end, it was your beginning. Think about it. What if this heartbreak isn't punishment, but permission? Permission to stop betraying yourself, permission to rebuild, permission to finally wake up. Let me ask you something. Were you really happy? Or were you just afraid of being alone? You kept giving. You kept compromising. You kept shrinking yourself to fit into a version of love that constantly left you starving. She didn't leave because she found better. She left because she saw a version of you so wrapped in needing her. It stopped being attractive. And somewhere deep down, you knew it too. You see, she didn't just leave you. She exposed you. She exposed the fact that your sense of self was built on her presence, that your confidence, your focus, even your peace depended on her validation. And when she took it away, she took your identity with it. But here's where everything changes. You don't need her back. You need you back. This is your Stoic breakthrough, not a breakdown. You feel like your world just ended? Good. That means the old one is gone. Now you get to build one where your value isn't up for negotiation, where your mood isn't tied to her attention, where your purpose doesn't vanish just because she did. Because real strength isn't loud, it's quiet. It's that moment you stop checking her socials. It's when you stop explaining yourself to people who already decided to misunderstand you. It's when you stop chasing closure from the very person who broke the story. And it's when you realize you were never abandoned. You were released. She didn't leave you. She freed you. So now the question is, what will you do with your freedom? If you're done suffering over someone who already let go, if you're ready to become the version of yourself that doesn't flinch, doesn't chase, and doesn't beg, hit that like button. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. I release what I cannot control. Now, let's begin. Number 1. Pain is the portal. You woke up to silence, no message, no call, just her, gone. And it's not just her absence, it's the echo of everything she took with her. Your peace, your sleep, your sense of being enough. The brain spins, replaying the arguments, the good moments, the last time she looked at you like you mattered. And the worst part? You still miss her, even after everything. That's what messes you up. But let's get one thing clear. This pain you're in, it's not weakness, it's not punishment, it's a signal. It's life dragging you to the bottom so you finally stop pretending. Because up until now, you were lying to yourself. Lying that it was fine. Lying that loving her more than you loved yourself wasn't destroying you. Lying that her leaving would be the worst thing that could happen. Nope. Her leaving was the best thing. Because it shattered the illusion. You thought love was about holding on. Stoicism says, real strength is in letting go. You thought she was your peace. Stoicism says, you are. You thought this pain was a curse. Stoicism says, it's the most honest teacher you'll ever have. This is the moment you stop asking why it happened and start asking what it's teaching you. Pain forces you to see the truth. That you became a man who was okay with being overlooked. A man who tolerated half love. A man who put someone on a pedestal and then wondered why he always felt beneath her. That ends now. You're not supposed to numb it. You're supposed to feel every damn second of it. Because pain burns away the lies. It burns away the fake identity you built around her attention. It burns away the weakness. And when it's done, you're left with the truth. The old you had to die. This is the funeral. But it's also the birth. The version of you who begged, gone. The version who thought her validation was your worth, gone. What's left is the beginning of a man who doesn't need to be chosen to know his value. So sit with the pain. Let it sharpen you. Let it starve out everything soft, needy, and afraid. Because you're not healing to win her back. You're healing to make sure you never lose yourself again. If you're done letting heartbreak define you, if you're ready to use the pain instead of being used by it, hit that like button. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. From pain, I rise. Number 2. The illusion of control. You kept asking yourself what you could have done differently, replaying every detail like it holds the key to undoing the end. Maybe if you had said this instead of that, maybe if you gave her more space, maybe if you showed her more affection, maybe. But here's the brutal truth. It wouldn't have mattered. You thought you were in control, that love was a formula, that if you just checked all the right boxes, she'd stay. But love isn't math. People don't leave because you got one thing wrong. They leave because they were already halfway gone when you were still trying to be perfect. And you? You were trying to manage her emotions, her reactions, her decisions, believing that if you could control the environment, you could control the outcome. That's where you lost yourself. That's where you gave your power away. Because you thought her presence meant you were doing something right, and when she left, you made it mean you did something wrong. Nope. You never had control over her. And that's the core truth most men can't handle. You don't control how someone sees you. You don't control when they change. You don't control whether they stay or go. All you control is you, your standards, your energy, your response. That's what Stoicism is built on, control of the self. You master your emotions, you master your reactions, you master your perception, because the second you try to control anyone else, you're in chains. You become reactive, desperate, unstable. And that energy, it repels everything you're trying to hold on to. You know what messes her up the most after she leaves? When you don't collapse, when you don't lash out, when you don't ask for closure. When you stop trying to control what was never yours and own the one thing that always was, your response. That quiet acceptance. That's power. That's you stepping out of the role of victim and into the mindset of the observer. Not detached because you don't care, but because you refuse to bleed for someone who's already walked away. When she realizes you didn't chase, that you didn't unravel, that's when the shift happens. Not in her, in you. That's when you stop being the man who was left and become the man who's rising. If you're done obsessing over what you couldn't control, if you're ready to move with purpose instead of panic, hit that like button. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. Acceptance is power. Number 3, you were too available. Let's tell the truth now. You didn't just love her, you revolved around her. You were always there. Texted back instantly, changed your schedule to fit hers, dropped what mattered to you just to keep her comfortable. You gave her your time, your attention, your energy, all of it, without hesitation. And at first, she appreciated it. But over time, she started pulling away. Why? Because what's always available starts to feel disposable. You weren't weak. You were just giving too much too soon. You thought love meant constant presence, constant reassurance, constant chasing. But here's the part no one tells you. Attraction needs tension, polarity, mystery. You became predictable, safe, and eventually boring. And that killed her desire more than any mistake you ever made. This is where dark psychology kicks in. Human nature doesn't value what's given too easily. It values what's scarce. When she knew you'd always be there, no matter how she treated you, no matter how many times she flaked or pulled away, she lost respect. And once respect is gone, affection follows. Stoicism says to value your time like it's gold, to be intentional with your energy, not just for others, but for you. You became too available because you forgot your own life, your mission, your boundaries, your edge. And when a man loses his edge, he loses the very thing that made him magnetic in the first place. Here's the truth she'll never say out loud. She didn't want to be your world. She wanted to orbit yours. She wanted to earn your attention. She wanted to wonder if she was enough for you. But you gave her everything up front. No mystery, no challenge, no chase. So here's the shift. You pull back. You stop explaining. You stop overgiving. You stop proving. You become a man of presence, not availability. You move with purpose. You become hard to access again, not to play games, but to protect your energy like it's sacred, because it is. And that shift, she'll feel it. She'll remember the man she used to chase, not the one begging to be kept, but the one who was focused, distant, and grounded. And when she feels that energy again, she'll realize she lost the prize. If you're done giving your worth away for free, if you're ready to become the man who values himself first, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below, "I am no longer easy to reach." Number 4, she expected you to break. She thought you'd fall apart. Let's be real, she expected the texts, the late-night calls, the emotional breakdown. She expected you to spiral, to beg, to tell her you can't live without her, because that's the version of you she thought she created. The soft, emotionally dependent man she molded with her approval, her attention, her love. And when she pulled it all away, she waited for the collapse. But then, silence. No reaction, no breakdown, no drama, just distance. And that disturbed her more than any message ever could. Understand this. Women don't just watch how you love them. They watch how you survive without them. And when you don't fall apart, when you don't chase, when you go quiet, she starts questioning everything. Was he faking it? Does he not care? Has he already moved on? She expected a storm, and you gave her stillness. That stillness? That's Stoic warfare. See, most men try to force closure. They write essays, they beg for understanding. But that just confirms her power. The Stoic man does none of that. He disappears into himself, not out of weakness, but out of clarity, because he knows the one who reacts first loses frame, the one who chases falls lower, and the one who stays silent stays powerful. Dark psychology. It's simple. The human brain fills silence with fear, and when she hears nothing, she fills in the blanks. She starts wondering who you're with, what you're thinking, whether you've already realized you could do better. She goes from being in control to being curious, and curiosity is where regret begins. She wanted to see if you'd break, and instead she saw a man waking up, a man who replaced need with purpose, a man who no longer seeks validation from anyone who could walk away so easily. So no, you're not broken. You're building. You're not lost. You're locked in. You're not chasing. You're choosing you. And that version of you, he doesn't beg. He disappears. And when he returns, he's unrecognizable. If you're done proving your worth to someone who already tested it and walked away, if you're ready to turn silence into strength, hit that like button. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. I rise in silence. Number 5. Emotions lie. Discipline doesn't. In the middle of heartbreak, your emotions scream louder than logic. They tell you to text her, to call her, to explain yourself one more time. They say, just one more message, maybe she'll come back. But that's not strength, that's impulse. That's your inner boy, trying to get comfort. And Stoicism doesn't answer to that voice. You can't trust your emotions right now. They're not truth, they're withdrawal. You're not missing her. You're missing the identity you built around her. You're missing the version of yourself who felt loved, even if it was conditional. But emotions, they're like weather. Stormy one day, calm the next. They come, they go, and if you act on them, you'll regret it every time. What doesn't lie? Discipline. Discipline is the blade that cuts through chaos. It's what keeps you from calling, from checking her socials, from stalking her online like a man who forgot who the hell he is. You don't need closure, you need control, emotional control, because when you master that, you become untouchable. Discipline builds momentum. Every day you don't reach out, every time you hit the gym instead of your lowest point, every time you move in silence instead of reacting, you level up, quietly, relentlessly. And while you're sharpening yourself, she's watching the version of you she expected to break. Get stronger. You think strength is stoicism alone? Nope. It's consistency. It's doing what needs to be done, even when your emotions beg you not to. You sit in the discomfort. You outlast the urge. That's how a man is reborn. Not through rage, not through revenge, but through ruthless self-discipline. Because at some point she'll reach out, or she won't. Doesn't matter. You won't care. You'll be too far ahead, too locked in, too focused on the man you became because she left. And when your emotions try to trick you into going backward, you'll smile because you already know they lie. But your discipline, never. If you're done letting feelings drive you off track, if you're ready to lead yourself with control, not chaos, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. Discipline over desire. Number 6. Become the mystery again. You used to be the mystery. Before her, you were unpredictable, focused, hard to read, and that's exactly what pulled her in. She didn't know if she had you, and that uncertainty, that tension, it fueled her attraction. But somewhere along the way, you gave all that away. You became predictable, over-available, too open, too eager. She stopped wondering about you because you stopped leaving anything to wonder about. And when a man becomes too familiar, too exposed, too emotionally naked, he loses polarity. She stops chasing. She starts pulling away. Because mystery isn't about playing games, it's about maintaining self-respect. It's about not giving someone access to your soul just because they smiled at you on Tuesday. Now it's time to take that back. You stop updating her. You stop announcing your moves. You stop reacting. You rebuild the aura. You become unavailable, not to punish, but to protect. You make her feel your absence so deeply, she starts questioning everything. Did I lose him? Was he always this strong? Did I mess up? That's the shift. The Stoic man doesn't chase. He evolves. He moves like he knows something you don't. He speaks less and does more. He becomes unpredictable again, not reckless, but detached. Not because he's cold, but because he's focused. And that energy, that calm, mysterious distance, it drives people crazy, especially the ones who once had all of you and thought you'd never pull back. Dark psychology. Here it is. What people can't explain, they obsess over. The moment she realizes she can't read you anymore, she starts remembering you, regretting, reconsidering. But by then it won't matter, because you won't be the same. Let her wonder. Let her sit with the silence. Let her feel the weight of what she lost. You're not becoming distant to hurt her. You're becoming distant to find yourself again. You're not punishing her. You're protecting the version of you that doesn't beg to be understood anymore. If you're done giving away your presence like it's cheap, if you're ready to become the mystery again, hit that like button. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. Let them wonder. Number 7. The return of the masculine frame. You lost your frame. Let's not sugarcoat it. You started leading with emotion, not direction. You stopped living for your mission and started orbiting around hers. Every decision you made was filtered through the question, will she like this? You gave up your edge to make her feel secure, and in doing that, you lost the very thing that made you masculine in her eyes. Masculine frame isn't about being dominant. It's about being centered, rooted, calm in chaos. It's when you know who you are, what you stand for, and where you're going, whether she's beside you or not. A man in his frame doesn't panic when she pulls back. He doesn't argue over texts. He doesn't chase validation. He observes. He decides. He leads. And that leadership, it's what she actually craved. Not control, not force, but stability. Direction power without panic. But when you gave her the wheel and kept asking, are we okay? You lost that. And she felt it. She may have said she wanted softness, vulnerability, openness, but she didn't want it at the cost of your backbone. Now is the time to take that frame back. You stop reacting to her shifts. You stop needing her to soothe your emotions. You move like a man who respects his time, his purpose, and his standards. And the crazy part, the moment you return to your frame, she feels it, even from a distance. That's Dark Psychology 101. When you reclaim your leadership energy, you trigger attraction again, not by convincing, but by becoming. You stop trying to be chosen and start acting like someone worth choosing. And that shift in posture, that shift in tone, it's felt in every word, every silence, every move. You don't rebuild your frame through anger. You rebuild it through discipline, through getting back in shape, through waking up early, through choosing your mission over distractions. Every time you choose long-term strength over short-term comfort, your frame strengthens. And as it does, her perception shifts. You stop being the man who lost her and become the man she's afraid to lose again. If you're done bending to be liked, if you're ready to lead with quiet strength, hit that like button. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. I lead. I don't chase. Number 8. Attraction through indifference. You thought love meant showing how much you care, being available, being consistent, being soft. But there's a hard truth you had to learn the brutal way. Neediness repels. The more you tried to prove your love, the less she felt it. The more you chased, the faster she ran. And now, you're here realizing the most twisted part of attraction. People want what they think they can't have. Enter indifference. Not fake, not petty, not cold. Real indifference. The kind that comes from knowing your value doesn't rise or fall based on who stays or goes. When you become indifferent, you stop trying to convince her. You stop reacting to her hot and cold energy. You stop waiting for her texts to determine your mood. That's not emotional maturity, that's emotional slavery. And Stoicism doesn't allow that. Indifference isn't about pretending, it's about not needing. It's about showing up as a man who is full, not waiting for someone to complete him. It's the moment you stop seeking her attention and she starts craving yours, because silence is powerful. It creates space. And in that space, she starts to remember what it felt like when she had all of you. Dark psychology flips the script. What you don't validate becomes more valuable. The moment you stop over-investing, she starts wondering. The moment you stop reacting, she starts feeling. And the moment you stop chasing, she starts looking for signs you still care. You flipped the polarity. Now she's uncertain. And uncertainty is the breeding ground for obsession. You're not doing this to manipulate her. You're doing it to master you. Because a man who moves with purpose doesn't get distracted by what left. He doesn't beg for attention. He doesn't fight for love that walked away. He becomes so complete within himself, it would take something unreal to even hold his attention. That's the power of indifference. Not silence to get her back, but silence because you don't need her back. That's when you win. Not when she comes running, but when it no longer matters if she does. If you're done attaching your worth to someone else's presence, if you're ready to live from a place of power, not need, hit that like button. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. I attract by not needing. Number 9. Your purpose over her presence. You made her your purpose. Let that sink in. You rearranged your life around her emotions, her plans, her approval. Your goals took a backseat. Your edge dulled. Your hunger faded. You stopped building and started waiting for her to make you feel whole. And when she left, you weren't just heartbroken, you were directionless. That ends now. A man without purpose is a man easily controlled. That's why Stoicism demands something deeper than desire. It demands direction. Your mission comes first. Not because women don't matter, but because without a purpose, you don't matter to yourself. And no one can respect a man who doesn't respect his own path. You were never supposed to worship her. You were supposed to lead yourself. She was supposed to join you on your journey, not become the journey itself. But you lost your way. And now, that loss is the wake-up call. This is the shift. You stop making her absence your focus and make your growth your obsession. You dive back into your grind. You train. You read. You build. You create a life that's so full, so focused, so rich with movement, that her presence becomes irrelevant. And here's the paradox. When you put your purpose first, you become magnetic again. That fire in your eyes, that momentum, that discipline, that's what pulls people in. That's what makes her look back and think, damn, maybe I misjudged him. But by then, you won't even flinch, because you'll be too locked in to care. Dark psychology flips the script. People chase what they can't distract. And when you're busy creating something bigger than any relationship, you become untouchable. That's the power she didn't expect. Not revenge, not bitterness, just progress. Quiet, unbothered, undeniable progress. You're not here to be remembered as someone's what if. You're here to build something that doesn't stop just because someone else did. She was a chapter. Your purpose? That's the whole book. If you're done making someone else the center of your world, if you're ready to become mission first, locked in, and untouchable, hit that like button. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. Purpose over everything. Number 10. Freedom is the real win. You thought the win was getting her back, letting her see your glow up, watching her come crawling back saying, "I made a mistake." You wanted revenge wrapped in validation. You wanted her to hurt the way you did, and that's normal. But that's not stoic. That's not power. That's just another form of attachment, disguised as strength. The real win? Freedom. Freedom from the mental prison where you replayed her words over and over. Freedom from the emotional highs and lows that kept you up at 2 a.m., staring at your phone, hoping. Freedom from the version of yourself that thought love meant sacrificing your peace. When you let all of that go, not pretend, not suppress, but actually release it, you become something most people never reach: unshakable. Freedom means you don't need her to see the new you. You don't care if she regrets it or not. You're not waiting for a text, an apology, or a second chance. You're too busy living a life that doesn't revolve around who stays or who leaves. You're too grounded to be pulled back into emotional chaos. That's the Stoic breakthrough. You've transcended the cycle. You're no longer controlled by what happened. You've absorbed it, learned from it, and used it to become sharper, colder, stronger, wiser. You no longer chase peace. You are peace. And here's the part that hits hardest: when you stop needing her back, when you stop caring about proving your worth. That's when she feels it. Not because you're playing games, because she's no longer needed for your story to be complete. That is what stays with her, and it's what sets you free. You don't want her back. You want your power back, your clarity, your self-respect, your freedom. And now you've got it. If you're done waiting for closure, if you're finally ready to live for you, hit that like button. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below, "I choose freedom." That's the Stoic blessing. You weren't abandoned, you were freed. Now go become someone that peace doesn't just visit, but lives in, forever.